to me. I have opinions.
Are you serious? Did you really just fart on me?
Just weigh yourself before and after you poo.
I come on the internet every day. That didn't come out correctly.
Is cannibalism against the TOS? I know boobs are.
That is absolutely majestic. Hello, everybody. It is I, Brian, the hungover hobo, and my friend Pope beside me. Say hi, Pope.
Hi.
Do you want to address why you're not on cam?
Yeah, I had oral surgery, so my face is a little swollen, guys. So I'm not going to be having a face cam today. I'm sorry.
And I'm also joined by Poochie.
Itchy Pixel 8 in a shirt and tie, just to try and balance out the fact that we're missing 1/3 of our hotness factor.
to counter the hobo factor.
I'm trying, okay, Pulp. At least I'm trying.
I'll be back.
Okay?
I will do my best to be less swollen next week.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
For fuck's sake.
It's all your fault. How dare
I know
you.
it's all my fault. And also, I'm a little bit, I got all my medications for it. So, it's going to be a fun show. Probably.
Bouncy show.
In the pre-show.
I already had my pregame.
Nice. So yes, this is episode 2 of the podcast. We've got a very fine agenda. We'll jump straight into the first topic. The first topic, we're going to be talking the Nintendo Direct. So this was shown last week, I think, or was it? I don't know. It was shown very, very recently, and just going to cover a couple of the things. So there was the Pikmin 4 release date, which was July 21st. For those that are interested in that, I never played the Pikmin games, but I
love
know
the
a lot of
Pikmin
people
games.
that have.
I'm really excited for that one.
Okay.
It looks so great. There's a dog.
There's a dog.
Yeah,
Can you
puppy.
pet the dog?
There's a dog in this one.
Can you pet the
Dog in
dog?
Pikmin.
I really hope you can pet the dog. I missed out on, I believe 3 was on the Wii U. So, because I that was the only Nintendo system I didn't buy.
24 people played that game then.
I think like 4 people played that game. Yeah.
That's
So
unfortunate.
I'm really excited for this one because I didn't get a chance to play Pikmin 3 at all. But it looks really good. It looks really. I think that was the last. Well, I think the last Pikmin game we had was on the cell phone, which was like similar to Pokemon Go, but instead of catch Pokemon, you got to put flowers everywhere.
That sounds so bizarre.
It's such a charming. It's such a charming game.
Fair. Do you
I'm
have a
very
Switch then, or
Me?
yes?
I have 2.
You have 2 Switches.
Yes,
Oh,
I bought
yeah, you got the
I bought the Animal
one.
Crossing limited edition one when it came out. I had to have it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Another thing that they had announced was Dead Cells, or rather, showed us some more Dead Cells and the
Yeah, it wasn't
crossover with
announced.
Castlevania. It's
Did you
not-
play that one,
Did
Peachy?
in the Game Awards?
Yeah, so initially it was announced during the Game Awards. It's also not exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, but they wanted to show more of it off and that it can run on the Switch. Personally,
The lead platform was PC.
yes, it was.
I played it in early access. They
For
gave me
Dead
an early
Cells?
access key, and
Did you like it?
So good. Oh,
It-
it's. I don't often play those games anymore, but that one hooked me back.
Yeah,
Really
we were just talking about how because I didn't get a chance to play Dead Cells. I was thinking of picking it up like a while ago. This is before this obviously announced, so now I kind of need it. But I went
Yeah.
through like a really big Metroidvania bit moment where I was playing a shit ton of them. Like Ender Lilies, I platinumed on Steam, so I'm really looking forward to that one. I don't even know if I'm gonna even like Dead Cells, but I do love me some Castlevania.
It's a lot of fun. There's Castlevania stuff going on there. If you like the Metroidvania style Castlevania,
Yeah.
like the original game's got that baked in already. So this is
Yeah.
a
All
really
right.
good
Oh,
fit.
so this is just extra gravy on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so-
love
I love that.
Castlevania. I'm
I
a
love
big
that.
fan.
Yeah, so it's loads
I'm
of...
excited. I'm really excited.
It's basically just loads of extra content specific to Castlevania. I'll actually show
I see a whip.
the trailer.
I see a whip.
But, they've actually included quite a lot of, I believe, the original music as well from Castlevania.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah.
Is it?
Word.
Is it from the old ones, or have they redone them?
I would assume they've been remastered, not remade, but
remade.
they are.
I mean, the
as far as I'm aware,
Castlevania music
the
is really good
original-
anyway.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's the original music, but
There's
presumably
probably
That's
remastered.
75
awesome.
different versions of Bloody Tears, so like they could just pick and choose whatever they want.
I can't remember what the number was, but it was like an obscene number that like they've got the licensing for a lot of the music. So yeah,
That's awesome. And Dead Cells is an indie game, isn't it?
relatively
Was
so.
it? Relatively, okay.
It came out quite a while ago. It's probably about 3-4 years old at this point now. But it got a lot of critical acclaim. So
Yeah.
they're probably not quite
it
an
looks like a lot
indie
of fun.
anymore. It is a lot of fun. It's a very, very good game. It's
I mean, technically, if they're publishing themselves, they're still indie.
That's true. That's true. But
Minecraft was still indie before Microsoft bought them. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, that is true. But at the same time, a lot of people, you could argue, have different versions of indie based on like Devolver games
look
are
at it,
technically
that's an indie
indie. You
game.
know what I mean? But they're
like
not.
the Metroid game, they did the recent side-scrolling one. That's an indie game because it's a 2D platform.
Yeah.
That's all that it needs
That's
to
all it
qualify for an indie game. It has to be a
Just in
2D side
2D.
scrolling platform.
It's definitely indie.
Yeah. Another
Yeah,
thing. Sorry, go on.
Metroid's also indie.
Absolutely, Nintendo, small independent publisher.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you've heard of them.
Never
Not a
heard
lot
of
of
them.
people have.
Who are
No.
they? Who's Nintendo? Nintendo?
Nintendo.
They are the extremely litigious game company.
We'll talk a wee bit about that in a bit.
Oh boy.
And another one
Okay.
of the announcements, I suspect, Pulp, you're going to be probably quite interested in this one, is Harmony of the Fall. And
Harmony of the
it's
Fall.
made by the same folks that made Life is Strange. Let's bring that up on
I love how
screen
you
for
think
Isn't that
Life is
Ubisoft?
Strange.
Ubisoft Montreal.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't know what that is.
You don't know
Harmony
what
of
Life
the
is?
Fall.
What? You-
No, I know.
Yeah.
What is Life is Strange? Harmony of. I
So-
only.
Life is Strange is one of those like
Adventure games.
you like you talk to people and then things happen and there's quick time
four.
events and stuff like that.
They overuse the phrase "hella" a lot. in the game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I do say hella sometimes, but that's more of a Northern California thing. And they're set in Oregon, and I don't know. I'm not from Portland, so I couldn't tell you.
That's fair enough. But yeah, so this game is a lot less.
Harmony, the fall of the Reverie.
Yes, the Fall of the Reverie.
Okay. Fall of the. Okay, I typed in Harmony of the Fall, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, Harmony of the
I
Fall of
don't
the
know
Reverie.
about
So
this.
it's in
The art
comparison.
style is kind of neat, I guess.
Yeah, so in comparison to Life is Strange, which was a bit more CG, there was I think
Yeah,
3 or 4 Life is Strange, whereas with Harmony of the Fall, it's obviously more of a.
This
a
looks more like
drawn
traditional
art.
animation,
Yeah,
almost like
yeah.
cel shaded.
And
I think it's this. I like this art direction a lot better because
agreed. Yeah,
the problem with the art style with Life is Strange is, I mean, well, I don't know. I didn't play the new one. I heard it's interesting.
it's a lot more colorful, I would say.
Yeah. I think it's even in the name. I worked on the trailer for that one. I think I told you.
Right.
Yeah, it was an interesting one to work on about all the colors and everything. I just wasn't interested in it. But the thing with like the arts, at least in the original games, because I know Don't Nod, the team who worked on the first 2 didn't work on that one.
Right.
So it seems like they were focusing on this. I think this might be a better art style for them because it kind of felt stiff sometimes when if you go back to the original, like those that they're Life is Strange games, it kind of feels a little stiff the way the characters moved.
Right. Yeah.
So this might actually lend more opportunity. Oh, I'm looking at the trailer. Yeah, this is way better.
Yeah.
It almost looks like
definitely
almost like a Sunday morning cartoon in a way.
Yeah, or like just something that you would expect on maybe on Netflix, like Castlevania,
Yeah.
for example, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
probably
looks,
that. Maybe more that.
it looks like it's targeted more to perhaps a more older audience compared to Life is
It
Strange
kind
as
of
well.
looks like a little bit of like how the Castlevania anime looks like.
Yes.
A little bit,
Some of
almost
the
like a little bit of
Castlevania-
Avatar, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, and we're more Legend of Korra mixed
You
in
know
there
what
too.
annoys me about the Castlevania show is you can tell where they were allowed to spend money, and you can really tell where they were like, we have 4 pence left to make these 7 scenes.
Well,
And,
that's
yeah.
kind of the case with any animated
I
show.
think that's with
though.
any animation.
Yeah.
But it was like they obviously did not get the budget they wanted because the scenes where they put the money into were just beautiful, and the ones where they
Yeah.
don't, it was Transformers.
That's
Well, it's
fair.
like I
It
mean,
was
when
pretty rough. It's so
it's a-
cool series though.
it's a great show. I feel like that's with animation in general though, because I still like even remember going back even as far as like I was a big fan of like Neon Genesis, and there's like areas where it was so clear there was no budget, where it's just like the same. There was like one scene that stayed there for 30 seconds on the screen, just like one
Arcane has
static.
probably ruined animation without a budget for a while.
I didn't watch Arcane. I thought it was supposed to. No, I didn't.
You need to watch Arcane. I'm not even
I'll
kidding.
watch it.
You
I'll watch it for
need
both
to
of
watch
you.
Arcane.
I'll watch it for
You,
both.
you need to watch Arcane. You need to watch Edge Runners, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, I've
Edge
been meaning
Runners.
to watch that. Dude, every time I get a chance to sit down and watch something, it's usually right before I go to bed, and then I'm worrying and fall asleep.
Did I
But,
watch
you know-
that? I can't remember. I do that all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Just pass the fuck out.
You pass the fuck out, and it's like I watched it. I just don't remember what happened. All right, let's go.
Did you just suddenly remember something that happened?
Yes, I did. I did remember something.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. No. But this game looks good. This game looks really.
Yeah, like it's not usually
But
my.
is it supposed to be like a live? Is it supposed to be a live, like a visual novel, or what is it supposed to be? That's what I'm trying to figure out still.
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, it's still the same type of game. They've just gone with a different art direction and made it a wee bit more adult. But it is otherwise the same type of like choose your own adventure,
Right.
pick your social talking points and whatnot. The next game is one I've actually played. I say game. I've played the demo, and that is Sea of Stars.
What is wait, let me look at that one. I'm curious. Oh wait, yeah, I was looking at this. It looks kind of cute. A turn-based retro RPG.
Yeah, it's a very, very
Oh.
cute. Peachy, you're going to be interested in this because it's
Yeah.
basically.
It says it's Chrono Trigger
Chained Echoes.
inspired RPG. That sounds really fun.
And the demo is up. I'll have to download it.
Yeah, so it's on the demo's only on Switch though, unfortunately. The game.
Oh, really? I'll
comes
check it out later then.
Is
in-
this Chrono Trigger?
It says Chrono Trigger inspired. Wait,
Yeah, so it's
it
like-
looks like it. Hold on, wait.
Yeah, it's very much.
Hold on. Let me grab my
inspired by
Switch
it.
in a second.
Yeah, it's going to come out in August, I believe, but
Oh, that's my birthday.
it's only available on Switch for the demo, unfortunately.
Oh no, it's not my birthday. This looks really cute, actually.
So
It does look a lot like Chrono Trigger. Holy shit.
that effect that you just saw there, with regards to the combat, you don't just go, okay, pick a skill and attack, and then you wait for the animation. It's a lot more active. So the little boomerang
Really?
thing that you saw, you have to press the
world you
button to
can
make
touch.
it bounce back, and then it will get faster and faster. And there's other attacks where
This
you.
is wonderful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised I never heard of this. So hold on, I need my
I
notebook.
know
to
that's the
remember.
precedent for like turn-based now. But it annoys me. It's
What
not
do you mean?
turn-based anymore. I'm just having a fight.
Oh no, it's
like-
still
Yeah, no,
turn-based.
no.
But,
Yeah, but no, when
rather than
you've
just
gotta-
watching the animation take place, you take part
Rather
in the
than
animation.
take
Yeah.
Maybe. Like,
No, but this
if
sounds-
that's-
this sounds great,
Based on
though.
that
I'm not
affects how
gonna
much
lie,
damage
man.
it does or shit like that. Like in the Final Fantasy was still doing that, but they were like,
The thing is that
here's
Final
your breaker
Fantasy is like
or whatever, you
I
gotta hit the
believe
button.
I feel like it would kind of started around Final Fantasy 12. I believe 12 when they started doing what was it? It was like a beam of light that came off the character's head, and I remember when I played that years ago on PS2, and I could put my controller down. The characters were just playing for me at that point.
Yeah, it's like 7 started. Oh, this is real time. You need to select this at the right time, but I think they have
Yeah.
options.
Well, it's like
but I'm
after
playing
that,
the
it started
remaster
going
at the
like
moment.
further and further more into like the action, like Well, I think no, they kind of did the same thing with Final Fantasy 13. I remember returning that game. I didn't beat it. But like, yeah,
Well, then you had to do the trigger buttons for the combo stuff.
yeah.
I'm like,
I
that was
mean,
okay.
don't
It was
I
okay.
like
I just
seeing.
want to play a turn-based game, and I love
Yeah.
10, so maybe it
This
doesn't
looks, but this
annoy me
does
that
look
much.
great. I mean, the Sea of Stars game looks really great. I'm gonna take a look at the demo probably after we finish recording, so I can see how it looks.
Oh,
Because
I'm
that.
gonna play it right now while the fucking podcast goes.
Yeah,
Oh!
just to
yeah.
clarify with regards to the combat. So that's just one example. Another example would be if you hold A as you're getting hit, you nullify the damage a little bit. It's not mandatory. It's more
Well,
of
it is.
It
Well,
sounds a lot
no,
like.
no.
That just reminds me a lot of like Paper Mario when that first came out. It's like time, so like where you still had to like do the timing. Kind of.
I've never played Paper Mario, so I can't comment.
Oh, it's
But
so good.
in the
It's
demo
so good.
and in the
I love it.
tutorial, they do explicitly say like it's not mandatory. It's just more of like if you want to min max kind of thing. Like you can
Why
basically
are you
just watch
playing
it.
a turn-based?
Well, it's still turn based. Like I said, it's more active, which personally I do prefer because I don't want to just sit there
I'm
waiting
just
for an animation to
itching
play.
for no reason, to be honest, because I
It's-
like
it's
plenty of
clear.
games that have that. Just why? I don't know. I'm just being a grumpy bastard.
That's fair. That's fair. The
It's
art
fair.
I
style,
want to
though,
play my video games. I
feel
want
like
to watch them, like The Last of Us.
I feel like you can't complain about the art style though. Like the art style, I think is very,
No, it looks,
very
it
nice.
looks dope.
Uh,
Yeah.
And I'm instantly getting like the Chrono Trigger. It's obviously looks
yeah,
way
I
more
know.
modern.
I'm looking at some of the footage and yeah, that you're putting up, and it looks, one of those boss fights reminded me of like that in when you go into the future the first time and the big boy comes down and with the little bits, it just reminded me of that kind of.
Big boy with a little bit.
It was, I think it was the first boss fight in the future.
On my sex tape. I can't. I'm sorry.
Ah!
I'm sorry. I had to.
Well, thanks for coming to the podcast, everyone. And but yeah, like I'm looking forward to it. As you can see, it's 29th of August when it comes out. It's going to be on, I think, all platforms as far as I'm aware. But just to reiterate, the demo is currently out, but the demo is
It's just only
available
on the Switch right now.
Yes, the demo is only on the Switch, but when the game is actually released, it's on.
Oh,
You all played
wait.
Chained
So
Echoes
I'm
yet?
I'm reading a bit more about this. Apparently, Yasunori Matsuda actually worked on it, who did Chrono Trigger, the soundtrack.
Which would explain a
I-
lot.
Cool.
That explains a lot.
That explains a great deal.
Well, that
Um,
makes me happy. And he joins
Oh, they made The
Sabotage Studios,
Messenger
Eric
as well?
W. Brown. Oh, so dude, this game sounds pretty fucking legit. I'm into it.
It's definitely going to be.
Sea of the Stars, boys and girls.
I think it's definitely going to be a standout around about
Sea of
August. There's
Stars,
not a lot of games coming out in August, from what I recall either. But
It
yes.
says August 29th. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna gear that one up. That's right after my birthday this year. So let's go.
The next thing is the Metroid Prime remaster.
Yes!
Yeah,
Oh my
buddy.
god! I'm so stoked on this.
So I haven't played Metroid Prime, so you two can take it away.
Dude, okay, so literally I was just talking about this like 2 weeks ago that I've been wanting to play Metroid Prime again, and I was hoping they remastered. So thank you, indie publisher Nintendo, for doing this for me.
The footage currently on
Really
screen.
Pulp, actually.
The footage currently on screen, by the way, is from GameSpot, and it's actually showing the comparison of the original game.
Oh, it already looks so good. Well, the good thing,
This is gonna
the
be
thing with the
60 frames,
GameCube,
though.
the GameCube did look really good already.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it had half the frames.
it did.
Yeah,
But back when the game came out, it still looked really good. The GameCube, what
I would say
mean,
it's aged well. Yeah, from what I'm looking at
yes,
now, it's definitely
did.
aged well. And that
Any of
was
those PS2 era-
2002, I want to
Well,
say.
the GameCube was more powerful than the PS2.
Yeah,
Like,
but it
graphics
also
wise.
had less smaller discs with less info on them.
Well, to be fair, GameCube and there was that whole shebang with Nintendo having like they were not getting along with SquareSoft at the time, and there was a few other like
They can play DVDs. That's why I had a PS2. But all
Well,
those
yeah, I know
games
there. I know
from
there was that. Well,
that era
the
of,
GameCube
like,
had a
PS2
handle
and
on it, and
GameCube.
you could
It
you
did
had
have a
the
handle.
GameCube had a handle on, so you could carry that guy around, and it was sturdy, so you can use it as a weapon. So they knew what was up.
Yeah, but
That's
any of those
remember
games from that
Nintendo's more
era
about
that
innovation.
had a strong art style have aged really well. Any ones that went for more realism, it's like, oh, that's an old looking
But-
game.
Yeah.
But Metroid Prime, I feel like they went more for realism, and it really does show that it's still aged extremely well.
One thing
And again, innovation.
I would point out is now, perhaps ironically, Metroid Prime, a game originally from the early 2000s, is now the best looking game on the Switch.
It's sad, but it's
Oh,
true.
shit. Is it at 60?
What, $60?
60
Oh,
frames
60
per
frames,
second.
sorry. I would assume so.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no,
you,
it's
you
720.
reminded me that it looks this good on a Switch, and I've played Pokemon on a Switch, and it don't look.
No, this looks really nice. I'm really excited to see. Hopefully, this does well, and to see like Echoes come out. And I don't think I played 3, Metroid Prime 3.
I haven't played any of them, but I'm actually tempted to play.
I
Metroid
think you
Prime
might like
Remastered
it.
Now. I've heard,
I think I really
really
do think
good.
you might like it. I was when I was trying to convince someone to play it because most of the Metroid games have always been side scrolling, and I was talking about how there was like, I don't know where this conversation came up with. It was basically, dude, there was a first person one and it was rad.
Right.
And I was like pulling up footage like on YouTube of the first game and how great it looked. And even when I was looking up that older footage from the GameCube, so this coming out is like, oh, this works so well for my argument how rad it was. It still looked wonderful, and it's I'm really excited to see this come out. That I have no complaints
Would you
whatsoever.
guys like some numbers?
Yeah, go for it.
It is
Yes, I would love some numbers.
targeting 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
So in docked mode, basically.
900p in docked and handheld.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. Might be a bit chunky on the battery
there
then.
is some slowdown, but have you played any modern game at the moment?
Yeah, no, that's fair. The cool thing is, after the Nintendo Direct, I believe they literally just like essentially shadow dropped this like 4 hours later. So this is out now for anyone who wants to play it.
Yeah, I think it is 60 quid though, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Wait, it's out now?
Yes, they released it hours after showing it. They were like, "Hi, look!"
No shit.
And then 4 hours later, they were like,
you're
"Here it
right.
is." Yeah,
The
look.
store
Wow.
really wants me to buy it because the second I open the store, it's like, "Hey, Metroid Prime."
Yeah.
I'm like, "I know, but not right now for 60 quid."
Jeez.
But yeah, I'll probably check it out.
Wait,
The
60?
issue for me is that my capture card's knackered at the moment, and I only really play games at the moment when I'm streaming. So if I'm not streaming, I'm not playing games, and if I'm not playing games, then But it's definitely something I'll check out in the future.
Oh, you're
I'm
really
gonna
playing games
I'm
and
gonna
you're
look
not
into this right
streaming.
now then, because well, not right now, but
You see, if you play a
I-
game and you're not streaming, when you fuck up, no one can see it and bug
That's
you
true.
for ages, as if they've never messed up in a video game in their life.
thing is, like, I have so many things I want to stream, and because I'm not I haven't been.
Such a mood, Pulp. It's like, I want this and that and this.
Yeah, there's
Not
so many
enough
things
stream days.
it's like I picked up so many, like, I still haven't played Dead Space because I wanted to stream that, and because of this, I'm not showing my face, and I don't really like playing without face cam anyway, so
That's fair.
kind of sucks. So, but
also
I don't know.
need a
Metroid
PC.
Prime, I probably would do both, play it on stream and
It's
play.
really hard to
play
stream
on.
without a face cam, though.
I have a really expressive face
Yeah,
in
same.
general, so it's
How
like
will
it's
people
not
know I'm making a joke if I don't mug to the camera.
true.
Yeah, better jokes,
I
PG.
had to go and get. I
No,
had to
Brian.
go and get my face
I
cut
will-
open. That's what I had to do. So, and I'm too vain. Otherwise,
Yeah, another thing they announced or revealed, should I say, is Zelda has vehicles.
So
Oh,
this is
God.
the next Zelda game, and it's got vehicles.
it's the new Zelda
So,
game.
From what
Hmm.
I've gathered, you can essentially build vehicles. So you can like make a hovercraft at the very least and like a car. But it kind of looks like you can put pieces together. So there's the potential that you could just
Scrap
go
mechanic.
ham with it and like you would with I can't remember what you used to call them, but I think Lego have their version, like the Technics.
Scrap mechanic, you can build the stuff and
Yeah, we can be like, okay, I want it to have 7 wheels for poops and
seats
giggles.
and all that.
Yeah, so there it's on screen now, so you can like put bits of it together.
Oh my god.
So it looks like you could literally just go wild with it. If that's actually how it is, that's going to be fantastic. But if it's
I saw someone just wrote Zelda nuts and bolts in my chat. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and
That's perfect. That's the best.
that's
That's the
essentially
best
what we-
description ever. Wonderful.
Hopefully that's
Wonderful.
what it
Really
is.
fucking cool.
I
But
like that is
also,
cool though. I like it.
Why?
Well, they have to do something that's different from the
No, they
first
don't.
game, because otherwise
Not
it's just
really,
more.
dude. When he plays Zelda, it's always been like I've been on a horse. I want to ride horses.
I thought
And that's
Breath of the Wild was
too, is
pretty
it?
average.
Is
So-
it Breath of the Wild
I-
2 that has the
Breath
nuts and
of
bolts?
the Wild, I've probably put okay, maybe not more, but that's probably the second most hours I've put into a Zelda game since Link to the Past.
It's the only Zelda game I've played, unfortunately. But yeah,
But
they,
I played a
I
fuck ton of
gotta play
Ocarina.
some of the other ones, man.
they have to
I
add
see.
something.
I like Breath of the Wild. I firmly stand that it doesn't feel like a Zelda game when I play it. So,
It did to me. I was
It-
like, oh, this is a new Zelda game.
well, I mean, it's Zelda, but
But then again, I didn't play Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess is okay. It's not my favorite, but I like it. I'm Majora's Mask and Link to the Past are my favorite. But when I was playing it, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I played it a lot. I do remember my first time seeing the Lionel, like the little big centaur looking guys
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there going like, I wasn't used to the game being like, the difficulty spike if you go to the wrong area.
Mm. Yeah,
And-
you suddenly see it, and it's like, oh, I'm suddenly being fisted. Okay, cool. By a
No,
horse
for
man.
me, he was so far away. He was really far away. And I was like, what's that little guy over there? Trying to shoot him with a bow and arrow. And he found me really quickly.
Oh yeah.
And I came really I didn't realize that was a very large creature in front of me. And yeah, then I got fisted. I got fisted afterwards.
What's your take on the
Someone
durability
clip that,
system?
put it on the end of any sentence.
And then I got fisted.
Afterwards, I got fisted.
What are your guys' take on the durability system? Do you hope they've got rid of it? Did you not
Oh,
mind
please
it?
get rid of it.
Please get rid of it.
Yeah, I hated
See,
it.
that's the type of shit I'm talking about that made it not feel
Or
like a Zelda
lower-
game. It's like Zelda
lower it.
never had that. I mean, the only time there was a durability system was with the big Goron sword, or I think that was what it was
Like,
called.
if the shitty weapons you find around, sure, they could break after 2 hits.
Well,
or
not the
something.
Master Sword.
Yeah, the fact that Master Sword could break was
You need-
pretty
yeah,
ridiculous.
If that's gonna happen, you need to bump up those numbers.
Hmm.
Like
Mhm.
it felt a bit like they artificially went, "Oh, can't use this all the time." Like if I can't use it all the time, give me like a reason that isn't annoying.
Right, yeah. And it did feel
Give me a
arbitrary,
reason that's
though.
not annoying. That's a
That-
good I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
it definitely felt arbitrary, and there's obviously been a lot of vocal noise about the durability system in terms of feedback that Nintendo would
At
have
least make them
received.
repairable. That's a good point too. Yeah, at least make them repairable.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that'd be
If
okay
they
if
could
you
do
could
that,
repair
that's
it.
perfect solution.
Or
I-
make every weapon break in one hit. But you
No
can
break in one
carry
hit.
all the weapons in the game, but they all will only hit once.
You know,
Just
all
break
I
your
just want to
switch. Just cut out the
instead
middleman.
break
Just,
it.
just the switch just dies.
Just use
You
the-
hit a goblin or whatever they're
Let's make
called.
this a real durability
Every
system.
time
Just
you
done.
die
break the
in
switch.
Zelda, it takes 3% off your battery's end of life.
Yeah,
Oh,
just cuts it
God.
out. So if you want
I'll-
to get to
you
the
know-
end game, you buy 7 switches. That's how
I
you
don't
do
know.
it.
I don't know why. I'm just like instantly reminded of I played years ago on the PSP, and it was Silent Hill Origins, and they had the durability system in that. And your character can walk around picking up toasters and TVs and all like this plethora of weapons, and it's just That's the durability system I want. Just let me carry a bunch of electronics in my pocket so I can just go over and
but
just
in that game,
bash
if they
things.
gave
Just
you
once
an
in the head.
epic
You just could do it
legendary
once.
sword, that should not fucking break.
I know, right?
The sword
if I
that,
have
you know, is your childhood sword that's been in every fucking game and is just like every time you find it, there is a fucking fanfare and a cutscene, or it takes you ages to get enough hearts you can get it. And
Yeah.
it breaks.
Well, wait, wasn't there was also that in wasn't it in Breath of the Wild? See, I didn't really get that. I didn't beat the game. But wasn't it like you could you had a choice of like how many hearts you had, because I think you needed 13 to have the Master Sword, and then there was something else. I think it was your stamina. You had a choice between the two. You wanted to upgrade it, and I wasn't really too fond of that.
So I think there was a consumable that you could acquire, and then you could put it towards either having more health or more stamina. But if you
Was
played
that
enough
what
of
it
the
was?
game, you would be able to essentially max both of them out.
That's what I figured.
The way you get the sword, I think it's fine. It's just gating it, making sure that you've played enough.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was 13 hearts, but you can just I remember because I remember that specifically.
I bet
And-
you speedrunners can do it in half a heart or something.
Well, yeah, because fucking speedrunners. I swear to
It
God.
was essentially a build mechanic, so you weren't just Link. You could be I'm Link, but with hardly any health, but all the stamina, or I have all the health and I've made myself really tanky kind of thing. But moving on for time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So they also announced there is obviously the subscription model that they have for online play. They've
Yeah.
added Game Boy games to it, so you can now
Which
play
is
old school games.
Sick.
Game Boy
That's
Color
so
and
sick,
Advance.
dude.
Yes, correct.
I mean, the Switch Lite is essentially a Game Boy at this point. I mean, it always was. So, I mean, why not have Game Boy games on there, right?
It is at an added premium, so you'd have the subscription, and then I believe it's like another $20 for this extra
On top
tier.
of the
On
subscription.
top of the
then you
addition.
can fuck
Okay,
off.
so wait.
Then you can
Okay.
absolutely
Okay,
fuck off.
wait. So I have a question then. So I bought the additional, I paid the extra for the Nintendo 64 to virtual
I'm gonna
console.
cancel the
Does that
subscription.
mean
is
does that
bullshit.
mean I have to add the I'm paying extra for the Game Boy, or does that include it? That's what I didn't get.
Potentially, they may be revamping it, so like you
Okay,
get
thank fucking God.
the classic games, for lack of a better word, as its own little tier. But if you want the Game Boy games, there is an added
Mhm.
premium on top of the regular
On
subscription.
top of your normal subscription. That
Yes.
is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the best internet service of all those systems, you know.
For our
It's
audio
the most
listeners,
reliable.
for our audio listeners, both Peachy and I looked very skeptically at the camera. But another bit of
And
news.
for the audio listeners, they don't see my face right now, and it's great.
It's hard to judge sarcasm with
It's
no
really
face.
hard for them to know if I'm being sarcastic right now, but you know,
But another
that's
bit
what
of,
happens when you look like you got punched in the face.
the last bit of news regarding the
Probably from being sarcastic to the wrong person.
perhaps. But another bit of news, or the last bit of news regarding the Nintendo Direct is a student at California State University had emailed his professor, basically saying, "Can
It
you?"
had to be my state, man. I swear to fucking God.
I mean, at least you're not Florida, but basically,
That's true.
they sent an email to their professor saying, "Oh, can you cancel classes because there's this once in a lifetime event, and if you don't cancel it, then it would be a tragedy to humanity or something like that." Obviously, that is incredibly vague,
Yeah, he's from California.
and they didn't mention the fact that it was just the Nintendo Direct. So obviously, that got the professor a little bit alarmed. The police got involved. The police did, in fact, make a statement saying, "Tonight we were made aware of a perceived vague threat to campus received by a professor via email. The email referenced a once-in-a-lifetime event that would occur tomorrow, February 8th, and the individual urged the professor to cancel class for the good of humanity." Basically, they looked it up and they were like, "Oh."
I'm sorry, that's really fucked up, but that's really funny.
So yeah, so what ended up happening is they ascertained it
Christ,
was
dude.
just for the Nintendo Direct. The student emailed the professor again saying, "Sorry, that probably was that was intended as a joke, but
How much
obviously
you want to
went down
bet
wrong."
this guy was a Smash Brothers fan?
Perhaps. They ended up putting extra police on site anyway, just for like out of caution, basically.
Yeah,
and also to
right.
help people relax because obviously news of this vague
thing
threat
is
went
like,
around.
I'm not. See, yeah. I mean, look at. Of course they did
What
that.
stage
'Cause-
of capitalism is terrorism attacks? Jesus
right.
fucking
I mean,
Christ.
the thing is too is like, I mean, because I live in California, and I'm not. They do take this shit very fucking seriously because it was years ago, like right after I got out of high school, the high school I went to received a bomb threat. So like,
Did they also
and
want to just buy something? It's like
no,
Jesus.
but it could also not just be that. It could even be like, shootings too. Like we have such a, high,
Sometimes I
high.
forget America.
Yeah, you have to remember it's not. They could have even
Remember,
perceived
it's
that as
America.
a shooting threat. So like, I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm laughing
'cause
more
it's
like
a
the
youth
I laugh
level,
more at the situation of like how fucking ridiculous some people can be. It's like, what, you were worried about like what the next Smash Brothers character is going to be? Like that's more important
Yeah, I
than
think
your
it was.
education, my man.
I think it was just some kid having a laugh, but didn't
Yeah,
realize
no,
how
it's
poorly
not.
worded
It's
his joke
probably
was.
having a laugh, but not fucking funny.
Yeah.
His lawyer is probably going to say it's poorly worded, but he not even fucking knows. Come
Dude,
on.
good of
Come
humanity.
on.
I
My
mean,
God.
I
Look at
have
all the,
to endure
yeah.
speaking to stupid people all the time because
Yeah.
of the work
And
that
of
I
course,
do.
but the thing
Some
that
people
gets,
are
but
just that
honest to
dumb.
God, dude, the
Twice
thing,
a
the thing that
month you
gets
have
me
to
the
do
most
that.
heated is why do you have to be from California and make us look even stupider? Like everyone makes fun of us that we're fucking idiots over here.
Help!
We don't need help. Why couldn't you have been going to CSUN at least? At least go to CSUN. Come on.
But moving on. The next thing, I'm
CSUN's a good
gonna
school.
let Pope take over.
Don't think I'm making fun of CSUN. It's a good school. I have a lot of friends who went to CSUN.
Something so much bomb threat.
There is one game though. I mean, I'm like kind of stoked. Well, there's a couple of things here that we didn't mention that I'm really stoked on. If you don't mind, I can just like mention. I'm just gonna like drop the names.
Yeah,
That's
we'll keep it short though because we are.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it very short. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective actually is going to be. Seems like it's going to be a cool remaster. I was actually looking for that game a long time ago. So it's made by the same creators as Ace Attorney.
Oh, when you said the name, I was like, "Oh, is that an Ace Attorney type game?"
It was on the DS, and they're remastering it. So that's actually really cool. That I was apparently getting a physical copy of that. It's extremely expensive, so that's actually a really good news for people who are interested in it. Back years ago, I was really interested in this game, but I didn't buy it because I don't like car battle systems. But Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 is getting an HD remaster, which was on the GameCube back when this is around the time when Chain of Memories came out on the Game Boy. So that I'm actually apparently they're also supposed to, I heard the game was originally pretty difficult because of the car battle system. However, it looks like they're making some improvements to the remaster, so that's fucking cool. And the last one that I'm looking forward to is Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. Fantastic puzzle games that were originally on the DS, and I saw that they were making a new one. That's fucking awesome. Those are the three I wanted to mention that I was kind of stoked on from what I saw.
Layton games have always been cool. So
they're always great. They came out around the time when remember Brain Age when that came out too, and I bought.
Oh,
I
when
bought
Nintendo were like, "Hey, old people, do you want games?" Okay, but it'll have a terrible
Don't make fun of it.
UI.
Don't make fun of this. Level 5 did Level 5 did come back with a vengeance. I agree with that in my chat. But also I was gonna say too, I bought Professor Layton for my mom. And she loved those games. I loved those games. That's why I bought it for her. I bought her a DS and the Professor Layton back when it came out.
Well,
the original one.
That was also part of the marketing as well, weren't they? They were like, "Oh,
yeah,
you can train your brain because you're old as fuck."
Well, no, that was Brain Age. That was Brain Age, and Brain Age was hilarious because I did buy that for my mom too, and trying to hear my mom in the other room.
Were riding on those coattails, but Professor Layton was a proper game.
It was a
Brain
great
Age
game.
wasn't, but there was a load of shovelware after Brain Age.
Professor Layton was actually well done, but Brain Age, I will always be forever grateful to hearing my mother in the other room yelling at her DS microphone blue because could not pick up her saying the word blue, and I think there's still videos on YouTube of people like fighting with that game. It was the best. It was probably the best gift Nintendo
Streaming
gave
into
us.
it.
Dude, just hearing your mother in the other room going "Blue" over and over again because it could not pick it up, and it's like we don't have accents are obviously subjective, but like we don't have like California accents or like any influx or vocal fries. She speaks very clearly too, and you're like, what?
Are you gonna
the
tell
hell?
me that you don't have an accent too, Paul?
Absolutely have a Californian
I
accent.
have no accent whatsoever.
I have zero accent. How dare you? I am so offended and upset.
Oh my god.
So thank you to everyone for coming to the podcast.
I mean, well, I have a Valley Girl accent for sure, but it used to be worse.
I wouldn't say you have a Valley Girl. Not all.
How dare you?
I would say that
How dare you?
every
I
time
get
you
upset
boss it,
anytime
it
someone
hurts me.
insists
Yeah,
I
dude.
live below Sunset, and you're over here insulting me by saying I don't live in the valley. I'm gonna be very upset.
I think I'm okay with that.
Were there
But,
any other
um,
games?
There's also level 5 announced Deca Police, and that looks kind of neat actually. There's some but and then of course there's the Fire Emblem Engage DLC, but I haven't played that one yet. I bought it, but I haven't
Anime
played it.
shit.
It's more anime shit. Yeah, I think there's also what was it? There's some really interesting things in here. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I don't play Mario Kart, so I don't give a shit. Oh, Advance Wars 1 and 2. That was another one I wanted to mention. Advance Wars 1 and 2 is getting they're getting remastered. And if you're into like XCOM or like Fire Emblem, any of those kind of games, those were they were awesome on the Game Boy. I really like those games.
All right.
So I'm done. This actually was a pretty decent direct in my opinion.
It was a good direct. Like, I'm not a big Nintendo fan, but it was definitely worthy showing.
I guess we
Now I
should
found out about
should
Game
also
Boy.
mention that there is a Kirby game coming out too. But I'm not a big Kirby. I don't even want to say I don't like Kirby. I just never played any of the games.
Yeah, neither have I.
So I accidentally glossed over it just now again, and it's not because I don't like Kirby. I just
After the last one where he swallowed the cars, because I think I played a demo or something of that.
the last one was apparently really good.
I think that's the last one you're referring to.
Yeah, this one's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I don't know anything about it. And it's not at all because I dislike it. Is this a Game Boy game? I don't know.
Either way, we need to move on.
Yes, we do need to move on. I'm sorry.
So the
I'm
next
sorry.
thing,
That's my fault.
well, not at all, not at all. But the next thing is probably something you're going to want to take the lead on anyway, and that's Wild Hearts, because I believe you're quite stoked about it. And there's been some.
Me?
Yes, because you watched.
Okay, so I am stoked on it. I did pick it up on the PS5, but I have not gotten very far into it. We were talking about it just the other day, actually. It was you and me, right, Brian? About how the PC optimization isn't very good. So there are mostly negative reviews on Steam, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But from what I looked into, I did a little investigating on my own. My fiance bought it on PC, and he saw how bad it was, so he returned it and bought it on PS5. And unfortunately, PS5 there was a 12-hour. The release was 12 hours later than Steam, which kind of sucks. But it is cross-platform. It is more optimized on the PS5, but his brother apparently has been playing it on PC, but he has like the best graphics card, so like he's doing okay. But I did some investigating, and apparently the developers did address the optimization issue, and they did release a workaround for players, and it's I assume works. I don't know. I have it on PS5, and from what little I played, it is very well optimized. I just totally screwed up and accidentally exited out of the character creator right after I did my character's eyes, and it wouldn't let me go back. And I said, fuck this game, and I stopped playing. So I will be back to Wild Hearts. It looks awesome. I think something that I was told by people I know are playing it is that there's some the way the building, like the building mechanic is in there, that it's kind of similar to like Death Stranding. I don't know how true that is. I still need to investigate that on my own.
I'm listening. What?
But if that's
Death
the
Stranding?
case, then I'm very interested.
Yeah. So with regards to the
Apart from the optimization,
performance,
yeah, it played kind of neat. It honestly, it looks stunning on the PS5. I will say that.
yeah. So with regards to the performance on PlayStation 5, there's no issues whatsoever. It was clearly developed for the PlayStation 5 and then ported to the PC.
That's what I was referring to.
On PC, it's been very hit and miss. Regardless of what your spec is, you either are unlucky and it just runs like dog shit, or it will run perfectly fine.
But apparently, the developers did address it almost immediately, and they noticed it, and they even released a workaround.
Bombed, you kind of have to.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they could have just been like, "Well, sucks to sucks," but they did acknowledge that there was an optimization issue, and they even released before a patch a workaround for people to try out.
Yeah,
so that was at least
announced a day one patch. They said there was going to be a day one patch. They said it's due to a CPU issue. Don't know if it was like a bottleneck issue or something to that effect. But
I wouldn't be surprised.
There are other issues out with regards to optimization outside of the CPU issue, but yes, it's obviously not gone down well, which is a shame because almost everyone that has played it and reviewed it has said gameplay wise it's fantastic, like it does everything they expected and more, but then it's hindered massively by the poor performance, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that's just going to happen a lot with some of these these current gen games in general. So, I mean, because a lot of the times, like, I didn't even know Wild Hearts was going to come out on PC initially. I thought it was only going to be made for, it was only being developed for the PS5. So, and the thing is with the, because I think we saw the same thing happen with Forspoken as well, where the game was initially being developed for the PS5, and we saw how terribly it was optimized for the PC. So
yeah, that seems to be a thing with ports in general, unfortunately.
Yeah, and in general, but it seems like a lot of these, it looks like a lot of these, at least the AAA developers, they're developing for, they've been developing for like at least the systems, because the systems seem to be, a lot more reliable than, PCs these days.
Yeah. With regards
mainly just because there's so many variables when it comes to PC, and I need to upgrade my graphics card and my CPU personally, because I can't, like, Resident Evil Village. That was mainly for streaming. Actually, that was more of a streaming issue. I had a lot of issues with the with how the game was running on my PC and simultaneously as streaming. So
it's the issue is not specifically the game; it's hardware.
I believe it's more of a hardware problem than that. And I think when it comes to developing these days, especially with PCs, there's so many variables now that it's almost. I feel like
has been.
There always has been. There always has been, but I think it's a lot. Not everyone's going to have.
Listening or watching, that was sarcasm.
That was sarcasm.
Just to make it clear, yeah.
If you're listening and you don't know that everything comes out of my mouth is sarcasm, it's sarcasm.
No. Yeah, with regards to the mechanics, for those not familiar with the game, it's essentially
everyone's PCs just need to get good. That's all that needs to happen. Just
yeah. So
mechanics. Are you going to talk about the grindiness of it? Because I have a question about that you two are able to answer.
So
I don't know too. Yeah, go ahead.
From what we've seen online and what people have reviewed, they have said that it's you could argue it's grindier than Monster Hunter World.
Now, is that something that you guys enjoy in Monster Hunter? Is grinding?
But honestly, I felt like with Monster Hunter World, it's already grindy in general. The thing is, when we play Monster Hunter World now, there's a lot of people who've been playing the game for so long that you can actually like just team up with people who will kind of help, kind of alleviate some of that grindiness for you. And I think in contrast, this is a brand new game. No, everybody's starting off at the same level. So you don't have that benefit or that luxury at this moment. I don't know. I haven't gotten, like I said, I stopped at the character career because silly me. But from what I understand,
there are people who love grindy games, right?
Yeah.
Is that the
some
Monster
people
Hunter
really,
crowd?
really love
Do you guys
grindiness.
dig that?
If I would say if you are
I
a
feel
fan
like
of
if you're
Monster
playing these
Hunter,
games-
you will be a fan of this. If you are not a fan of Monster Hunter because of the grindiness, you will not be a fan of this.
I think these games are kind of made for the grinding, though. Like you are playing Monster Hunter for the grind. If you want to get the whole armor set, you're gonna have to go after these monsters at multiple times in order to do so. You can either be joining in on someone else's game or just going through and redoing the same quest multiple times. The grind is part of the whole experience. And what I mean about what I was trying to say about the grindiness here is with Monster Hunter is you can join up on other people now because the game's been out for so many years, and people who are way above it, ahead of
I want to play the game,
no. But what I mean is like you can have people like, join up on you who are way ahead of you, can help kind of alleviate some of that grind, like make it, you could beat these monsters a lot faster, who know what they're doing.
You think that some of these reports might be because people are
everyone's at the same level right now. I think right now everyone's at the same level, so you don't really have that luxury at that point where or at this point where like you could go like, yeah, my friend, like he's gotten like he's got all the top shit. He could probably drop some things for you too. So right now we're all at the same level.
I'm not allergic to grind, but I will grind if I'm enjoying the game and I want specific things. I don't usually go into games going, right, it's time to grind. That's
but I also, whenever I play games that do require any kind of grinding, like I will just go, I'll do that off stream or something like to myself. Like I can't.
Yeah, well, some people just zone out and like, I'm just.
Some games are great, like to just, I'm from California, so you smoke a bowl and then you just, zone out. And just go like, oh.
Yeah, the thing with Monster Hunter games, to answer your question a bit more, Peachy, is if you are the sort of person who really enjoys a good fight, because that's what these are, they're long fights. A fight on Monster Hunter can sometimes take up to like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then you've sometimes got to hunt them down and fight other things along the way as well. So if you like that aspect of it, that could be classed as a grind. And you may have to engage in those fights multiple times.
Though. Grind to me is like, if I want this armor set, I've got to go out and just keep killing the same things. Like MMOs.
Which you will have to do in a Monster Hunter game.
Do you have to do that though? Or is it kind of like if you
want the full armor set, then yeah. But the thing with, I feel with some of these Monster Hunter games, I feel Wild Hearts kind of falls into the same categories. At least when it comes to this grind, you could do it as a group with your friends, where it's like you all, so you're not doing it by yourself if you don't want to.
Yes. So with regards to like why you would kill a monster over and over again, the loot is RNG. So you might not get the materials that you need to make the armor or the weapons that you want. That's how you get your gear, through materials. So
I played World and I didn't do any grinding. I just went through and.
But that's what I was trying to say about with World, where I feel like you can have an added benefit if having a player who might be a little bit more experienced. Where going into, like, let's say you want to get a specific armor set. I don't know how it works in Wild Hearts since I haven't gone on any hunts yet, so I'll have to report back on that. But where you can like knock off body parts of the monsters, like the tail, and it's a little easier to knock off a horn or the tooth or the tail when you have like a higher arm, like weapon, loadout and you have like 3 people who probably have like gotten way past, make the grind a little bit easier because it increases the RNG for some of those drops, and that's what I was referring to. Yeah. So you can kind of make it go a little bit faster if you have people who've been playing for a lot longer, but at least you could do everything in a group when you're doing the grind with these kind of games. It kind of makes it a little easier because it's almost more of a social thing, like, let's go boys, let's go hunt us a demon.
So this is a multiplayer with your friends.
I think it's 3 players.
It's a game you could play solo. Obviously the option to play it with other people is there. And they have
get harder
made it
as
easier.
You have more people, for sure. It's harder.
It will scale with more people. They have made it easier to also join games in comparison to Monster Hunter, where you had to fanny about with like the hub, the social hub kind of thing, invite people in. It's more of just you invite someone to your party in Wild Hearts, they will show up. so you'd have to mess
Yeah,
around with things like that.
From what I understand in Wild Hearts, it's a little easier for people to join you because with Monster Hunter World, when I played it, there is a connectivity issue, and sometimes like it really sucks when it happens too. When like you'll have a full group drop in, join you because you send up your flare,
Yeah.
and then somebody will have a connection or two. People will have a connection like, no, now they're harder,
Right.
and you're screwed because it's just by yourself now. Like, which kind of sucks, but I don't know how I'm hoping that with Wild Hearts it's a little bit better in that regard. But from what from someone pointed out in my chat that I guess Wild Hearts is a little bit harder than Monster Hunter. So, which Monster Hunter it can get pretty tough sometimes.
Yeah, the AI is reportedly a bit more like aggressive in comparison to the Monster Hunter games. There's also
I'm down with that.
There's also the mechanic of like you can build these devices that you can see on the screen now. So the fundamentals behind it is you can create like these basic bitch boxes. So you've got the one where you can stack like 3 boxes on top of each other. I did, yeah. And then you can just like jump off it, but you can then combine that with another type of box that will then create this hammer, for example. There's a device you can create.
Who doesn't want a giant hammer?
Yeah,
man,
you can make
fucking hammer.
You can make
hammer's
walls.
great, man. That's my favorite.
You can make the little glider / helicopter thing. Again, if you combine these things together, there's quite a lot of like formulas that you can put things together. So that's their spin on it. That's what they've done to make it distinct from Monster Hunter. Because obviously, art style wise, it's very similar. It's not like Monster Hunter in space or anything like that, which would be nice if someone actually tried to
Indie games
do
can
that.
exist in the same genre.
Oh yeah, of course.
This is a monster hunting genre now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, I mean, from what I've seen of the game, it still looks like a lot of fun. And hopefully the PC optimization gets fixed, because from what I understand, it's cross-platform, which is always awesome. I love it when games are cross-platform, because that way, if you get if you pick it up, Brian, then you and I can, let's go hunt us a monster.
I haven't heard back.
Then we just
about
gotta
the
get Peachy
key,
in there.
But I will be playing it at some point. I definitely want to check
It'll
it
be
out.
great.
Before we head off to break,
It's very hard to make your character ugly. I will say that.
Yeah.
I hate games like.
Yeah, it's always nice to have pretty characters.
I only make hot characters. I don't actually make ugly.
I like making ugly characters. So when
my
games.
Sims 4 character. Dude,
Okay, so that was me delivering bad news, and both of you were taking it as good news. And I think I want to see. I love seeing monsters. I want to fight a monster as a monster.
All the hotness. So yeah, just before we go on to break, just a couple of other things. We've got some subjects that we can use in the second half, but some just to talk about. PUBG Studios, they're making a Tarkov-like.
I can kind of go off on this, so I don't know.
Okay, you're gonna. I'm gonna let you go off on that one.
We'll revisit on that one then. Amazon Luna, they've just had 50 games just drop off their store. And
in December, 46 games dropped off. This thing is dead, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, so it's existed for 2 years. It wasn't as bad as Stadia. They didn't make any silly promises. It was just a subscription, as opposed to Stadia, which was a subscription. You had to pay for the controller. If you didn't use the controller, you couldn't use any others. And then you wouldn't have to then buy the game on top of it like you did with Stadia. But yeah, they've just not marketed it very well, and loads of games are dropping off it. So I think they've basically given up on it, and they're probably going to be sunsetting it in the next year or so, I suspect.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the death of cloud gaming.
I don't think it's the death of cloud gaming, because there's plenty of other things that are.
Of cloud gaming.
It's not though, because there's
there's
Nvidia, GeForce Now is still going strong, and of course Microsoft, and there's loads of like smaller, lesser known ones that have been going for years. It's only Amazon and Stadia that have basically died. Which is 2, which only started very recently as well.
Cloud is dead.
Cloud is dead.
Okay,
He's already got
dead.
his dead.
Hey, Brian admits it, and he runs all cloud gaming.
I am the director of cloud gaming.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a couple of more subjects, but we'll move those into the second half, and then we'll be talking about games in the second half. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Go stretch your legs, go rest your eyes, get yourselves a drink, have a pee, have a poo, have a little thought. I don't know, but we'll be back.
There's not enough time for a poo.
Uh,
Unless you're real.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Says
sometimes it
you.
just fires out like
That
a
is true, it
slippery
does.
eel, you know.
If you
You got to be a world class tour.
And if you're in a rush, just snap it off and come back. You'll be fine.
Yeah, pitch it off.
So yes, we're gonna go and break. We'll be back in, should we say, 5 minutes?
All right.
I'm
I'm
in.
gonna get a new drink.
Right, so mics will be hot unless you mute yourselves for the entertainment.
muting
of
myself
the
this
chat.
time. And then I'll say some spicy things on hot mics.
Spicy.
Oh,
Right, welcome back everyone to part 2 of episode 2 of the Poo podcast. It's also known as fully rendered. You won't get that unless you are here live
If
or
you were
watching
here
the VOD.
live, they're gonna be. Don't. It wasn't worth it. I was here and I.
it's
hated
worth
every
it. It's
second
very
of
worth it.
Absolutely worth it. You will learn some very insightful things about both
What's
myself,
next on the
Pope,
docket,
and PG.
Brian?
So next on the docket, we'll talk briefly about Bing and the crossover with ChatGPT. So for those not familiar, Bing, it's a thing that you all probably ignore that it exists. It's the search engine created by Microsoft. And
It's the search
recently...
engine to get
Yeah.
Chrome installed on your new.
Yeah,
Windows.
whenever
Yes, exactly.
I'm very well acquainted with Bing because every once in a while my computer will update. I'll have like a Windows update, and then it just automatically switches my search engine from
From Google.
from Google to Bing, and I'm like, no, we've had this discussion. This is a hate crime at this point.
Yeah, I hate it when it does that. But
So
Bing have
awful.
recently integrated ChatGPT, which is an AI chat program. So you basically can talk to Bing now. And out of
Depressed.
and
Oh,
now it's
cool. I need a new
depressed,
friend.
yeah. So
I need a new friend.
I watched a video on the WAN show, basically, where they played around with it a little bit, and it's surprisingly powerful. And I think it is definitely something that could be really, really good in the future. Even now in its current iteration, there's definitely some issues. It sometimes gets things wrong. You can sometimes get gaslit by it. You can give it depression and things like that because it is an artificial intelligence after all, not just a scripted bot. But it can do things like you could search or ask it, hi, can you find me a new t-shirt that has a blue emblem on it? And it will actually look at pictures.
That's.
So what they did on
I
the
mean,
WAN show...
it's basically Siri.
No, so...
It's what Siri wanted to be when it
Yeah.
launched.
So like things like Siri and
Google Assistant.
Alexa and Google Assistant and things like that, they are all scripted essentially. You say a voice command or something and it will return with a preemptive response. Whereas with ChatGPT, it's AI, so it's learning. It
Machine learning.
will automatically like search for things relevant to whatever you're asking it about, and it can also write things for you. It could write essays for you and things like that.
It's a new way of AI and like diffusion and stuff like that. It's all algorithmically based.
It's basically giving a search engine a brain and giving it the capacity.
Yeah, that's
to
exactly
think.
what we needed. I don't really want to like go to my search engine and ask them about like, I need to upgrade my Hitachi. So give me the lowdown on the newest vibrators, my man.
Well, the thing is, it could do that, and it would then also go, here's some reviews, and it would basically, like, say for example, you wanted to look up a certain product, and you go, okay, you would look to see when it's coming out. You'd then look to see in a separate search what reviews are available for it. You could then look up like delivery details, etc. Whereas with ChatGPT, you would just put in like what you're after, and it would come back automatically, and it would give you that information in the form of a conversation as if you were talking to a person. And it will do a lot of things, like I said, searching. What they did on the WAN show is Linus Tech Tips have their own store. They don't have any like descriptions of the things that they sell. It's just pictures and like what it's called, like the WAN hoodie, and then it would show pictures of the hoodie. And they were asking it questions, and it literally looked at the pictures on the store to identify what they were searching for. So it basically did the work that would require a human to do manually. And also that's done in seconds. So you basically have this AI search throughout the internet, for all the things that you need, and it goes hit and compiles it for you, and then presents it to you in an easy and digestible format. So you can essentially ask it to provide sources for an essay that you're writing for your paper at college or whatever, and things like that, and it will potentially literally write it for you in some ways. So yeah, it's going to be very, very, very powerful, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. It's a shame it's with Bing, because Bing is, you know, a bag
That's
of dicks.
definitely a huge fucking shame right there. But nice.
But likewise, so go on.
Okay, this is a broader conversation about AI, right?
Right.
I find AI fascinating. I think there are a lot of cool tools coming using
Yes.
AI.
100%.
I think that's where its strength is going to be, right?
Yes.
Like,
I agree.
like Photoshop, right? Now you've got this app to use as a tool to do stuff with, or it's a tool, right? It should be a tool. Now I watched a video. I don't know. Does anyone know Tom Scott?
Not
YouTuber.
personally, no.
Negative. No.
He's great. Recommend. He actually did a video about this. And he's saying he's got this existential dread about AI, because when you look at things that have revolutionized the world, like the smartphone, internet, right? There is there's a curve. There's actually a name for it. It's called the sigmoid curve. So it very slowly starts to pick up as people like try it, and nerds get at it and poke and prod, and then it's an uptick. The curve goes like almost vertical, because
exponentially.
Yes, and then as it's going up and everyone's using it, and then it levels out where it's maxed out for its usefulness. Like smartphones, we're at the end of the explosion of smartphones, right? They can do everything
Essentially, yeah.
And his dread is we don't know where we are on the curve right now, on the sigmoid curve of AI. Are we at the start? Because if we're at the start, that's terrifying.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely at the start. We're at the start.
Are we though?
Oh yeah.
We won't know that until foresight. We won't know where we are on the curve.
I would say we're at the start, and the reason I would say that is because a lot of things that are referred to as AI that we've known in the past aren't AI.
Yeah.
They're just called AI as a buzzword term, whereas now we're actually entering the realm of creating artificial intelligence.
Just because we're up there doesn't mean we're at the curve of the usefulness of the tool, though, right? We don't know how.
Right.
Like, if we're in the middle
agree.
of the curve, like a couple of years down the line, we're going to have some amazing stuff to work with. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
It's gonna be great. If we're towards the end of the curve, we're definitely not towards the end of the curve, because we're not. But if we are, it kind of stops here, right? But if we're at the start of the curve, everything changes. If we're at the start right now, before it does its uptick and everyone's using it and maxing it out to its potential, everything changes from here. This is the internet. This is how big AI could be if we're at the start of the curve.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Like, I think the curve will be probably still spanning a number of years, but in these years, even now, we're going to see some really crazy shit, and it will just get crazier and crazier and even more powerful in terms of the tools that we get.
But I don't know. Like, I don't think true AI is possible. True AI is actually possible, like a human soul-esque machine.
I don't think we'll get something with like sentience for decades still, but we'll definitely get some.
I don't know. And, like, we don't know where we're on the curve. Like,
I'm kidding with you,
a couple of years down the line, like if this is the middle of the curve, this is, I think, perfect for where we are right now. If this is the start of the curve, everything from this point changes, like just fundamentally, not like improves tools, makes things better. Fundamental change is coming if we're at the start of the curve, and that is terrifying. Look how quickly the internet blew up. Look, can you even buy a non-smartphone without going to a boutique place anymore? Like that. Those are the things that fundamentally.
I mean, we're on our way to Skynet, boys. That's just what's going to happen.
It's possible. It's possible we are at the very start and it's about to just explode, or we're somewhere in the middle and it's moving up, and cool, new tools that aren't going to fundamentally change anything, but it is going to improve us.
I think AI is going to change how the internet is used. And I think Google knows that as well because they're shitting their pants and they're investing massively into
Yeah,
trying
but
to
Google fucking
AI
launched
into-
Stadia. Like,
Yeah,
Ubisoft started crypto live currencies. Like, we
Oh my
can't take
God.
them as a basis.
I just love that dunk on them. It's like, yeah, but they started Stadia, so hold on. We might not be aware of
We won't truly
what
know
they have, what they
until a
are
few years
capable of
down the
doing.
line. But we could be on the precipice
Oh
of
God, that was
something
so funny.
huge.
Thank you for that.
yeah.
Thank you for that one.
Google's issues aside, they are the best search engine, and they know they are, and that's something they've nailed down, and they monopolize that,
Yeah.
and they're panicking about ChatGPT being implemented into Bing. So if it's got them panicking about the thing that they have their claws into and have done for the entirety of search engines existing, that's them saying, yes, this will change everything. And I do agree. Like when people were watching the WAN show, you could see in their chat that they were like, oh, wow, I'm going to use this for like, I'm going to start using Bing for a start, but I'm going to use this for things like essays and when I need to get researched and stuff like that, because it basically will cut out hours of work. It is actively
Google
cutting
Fu is a
out.
genuine skill.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, being able to search stuff efficiently is a genuine skill, and this could be great.
It's already like cutting things that would take
open,
hours.
Though, is it? ChatGPT Bing is not everyone can. You have to sign up for it.
You have to like enroll into it. They've opened up invites, so not everyone currently has access. That's actually a point of contention. To get access or to be eligible for access, you have to download an app on your phone, and you have to have Microsoft defaults. So Edge has to be default browser, the default like privacy settings and things like that, which is really like fuck off Microsoft kind of thing. But yeah, that if you are interested, that's some of the stuff that you need to do. So you do have to download a mobile app, and like I said, set everything into
Bit of work for me, man.
Microsoft Edge. But yeah,
Microsoft coming in here trying to tell me to change all my settings.
Let's see what else we've got. So there's two more subjects that we'll quickly touch on. James Gunn, with regards to the DCU that we talked about 2 weeks ago, he also mentioned that he intends to have movie actors reprise their roles as voice actors in the games.
Stupid idea.
Which I agree is a massively stupid idea. So like, for example,
voice acting, two very different things, and there is not necessarily crossover there.
Yeah, so one, there's not necessarily crossover, and in terms of budget, it is wildly different. It was actually the director from Midnight Suns who kind of responded to that, saying, obviously Midnight Suns has the MCU characters in it, or at least the Marvel characters in it. So he was saying, we've got like 20 different characters in our game. Could you imagine paying for Robert Downey Jr., Benedict Cumberbatch, and every single person who's been in the MCU and paying for all of their salaries just to do the voice lines in these games? The games wouldn't get made.
Working hot actors, yeah.
Yes, who were also constantly working in movies and stuff themselves, so it would change scheduling and things like that.
There is crossover in acting there, but they are two very different skills.
Yeah,
like, I know voice actors who are fucking incredible, and if you put like a normal screen stage actor on there, they're not going to pull off. They're not going to be able to.
No, I fully agree with that.
There are some that could. I'm not saying that is out of the realms of possibility, but
I'm sure there are some that are capable of, that are capable of perform
in the same way
delivering a performance. Sorry, I couldn't remember my brain just like shut down for a second. Of delivering a proper performance. A decent performance, but the thing is, like, yeah, like it's such a different set of skills, and I feel like a lot of traditional actors, they rely more like on like their whole repertoire than just vocal delivery, because sometimes that's, I mean, I'm pretty sure if you cut away like some of the the footage of some traditional actors, they're not really doing too much in the emoting department when it comes to their voice.
That's true.
Well,
That's true.
yeah, because they're using different. I'm not saying one
Yeah,
is better
that's
than
why I
the
said
other,
that they're using their whole range. Their whole range is their repertoire.
Yeah,
So you might have
and
someone who's a
that's what
lot
makes an
better.
actor's performance amazing in
Yeah, because like
comparison
they're
to a
able
voice
to emote
actor's.
their
They're
face.
all actors. They are all actors. They are just have very different
Yes, absolutely.
niches. Is that the word? I'm not sure if that's the correct
I
term,
think the
but
easiest way to sum it up is a voice actor is going to be a lot more conscient of them not being visually seen, so they put more emotion and
Yeah, but
stuff
then
into
that
their
could
voice.
lead to overacting too, which is even can be even worse sometimes.
True, but in terms of
like
discussing differences, obviously, someone who's
oh
used to being on
yeah,
screen,
no.
they're not going to be as aware.
I don't
of
have
that.
a problem with actual actors being in video games, but you know,
I don't either,
give a
'cause, like-
shit about narrative focused video games anyway. So
I'm not really against it when in regards to like I understand because because voice acting is an art form of itself, but I mean I think we're all guilty of it. If you play a game where it's like clearly like licensed a IP like say Spider-Man, and it's very clearly not. I'm going to use Tobey Maguire just as the example. It's very clearly not Tobey Maguire, but they try. Actually, no. A perfect example would be when in Kingdom Hearts when they had like the Pirates of the Caribbean world, and they had very blatantly not Johnny Depp voice acting or voicing Jack Sparrow, and you're like, yeah, that's not going to be distracting at all. And the whole time, in my experience, I mean, this was back at PlayStation 2, but it's like my whole experience was just like, Jesus, this is distracting because you're just paying attention to someone trying to sound like Johnny Depp and trying to sound like Jeffrey Rush and trying to sound like all these actors. And so, I mean, there are like benefits to like having the voice, the actual actor voicing for like those just specifically those
also,
licensed
let's
roles.
not forget that movie adaptations are traditionally, for the most part, absolute trash.
Garbage.
everywhere.
They're garbage. Yes.
So does it matter?
It doesn't really matter anyway. I was just using. That was actually something that popped in my head. Like, wait, this is actually like like an IP that a lot of people really did like, and they tried to replicate. An actual like a traditional actor's voice, and it just doesn't work at all. It's distracting as at best. Yeah. So I mean, I could see where the benefits lie with casting.
Okay, in every other game apart from Kingdom Hearts, where it does
No,
make sense to have the actors there.
But it does,
Well-
and it does make sense. It does make sense to have like, if you're playing, a Spider-Man game, and the Peter Parker is going to be portrayed by
Spider-Man
the.
game I played last year, the amazing.
Oh, they're great. They're great.
Fucking amazing acting. I
Yeah,
think
you don't-
I don't know. The gameplay was so good. I can't
Well,
remember.
what they did, I think what they also what a good idea that they could do to work around is like, for example, like the Guardians of the Galaxy game, they didn't have the actual actors playing the characters. They redesigned the characters in there in a different.
Look different, and it was obviously a different. Like in Spider-Man, it's a different Spider-Man, right? It's that. Spider-Man.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is you could do you could do great with that, and that's
But are movie
excellent workaround.
games like hampered because the studio's like it's got to follow the story of the movie? It's
Oh,
gotta,
absolutely, dude,
Is
absolutely.
it gonna matter? Is it just gonna be trash games anyway?
I mean,
Well, it's like, so you have these, the Spider-Man games, I guess, would be a good example where it's like I don't know about I didn't play any of the games that were based off of the movies, but the games that went off on their own, or the Arkham franchise, like they did their own thing, and they had fantastic stories and gameplay and voice acting, of course. And they weren't hampered by the the concept of like what I'm pretty sure there was like a Dark Knight game that just was god awful. Like most of the games that are just reliant on the movie movie IP and just trying to follow that framework never works out. It's always going to be, with the exception of like Chronicles of Riddick. That's like probably the one that
is probably one of the best. Like
the best,
straight
and
ones,
one of
yeah.
the only.
But
also,
acting
to
in
be
that-
fair, that movie sucked.
Yeah, the movie sucked. The game was amazing, but the acting wasn't the best. You know?
to be
But,
clear, though,
I mean,
I would say that no one is against the idea of having movie actors in the games on that level. The reason it's stupid is the logistical side of things.
oh yeah,
because
the logistics, yeah.
Because as we've said,
they're
it's a
working.
difference in skills. It's also a difference in salary. Like voice actors are grossly paid substantially less compared to movie
Yes.
actors.
Absolutely.
And again, like actors are going to be working on other movies and other projects. The scheduling is going to be completely out of whack, whereas a voice actor is more likely to be able to dedicate more of their time to voice acting that
because
game
that's
and things
most
like that.
likely what that with probably a few other projects under their belt that they're focusing on, whereas with actors that they have all these other things, their time is a lot more stretched thin as well.
Yeah, well, because like if you're voice acting, other people would know this better than me, but you're gonna have to redo lines and stuff like that.
Yeah,
All the time. There might be rewrites or a change, or something's gonna change, and you're gonna need to re-record lines.
And it's also likely that
available.
it's also likely a traditional actor might be looking at it as because it's not the same. It's not as demanding. They might look at it as demand. It's just a paycheck. And most likely just phone it in, which we don't, which is kind of.
But that's a different conversation, isn't it?
I mean, we can go all over the place with
it would cost a lot more to make a game, and it already costs a lot of money to make a AAA
especially a superhero game that usually has multiple superheroes in it at once. There's two more subjects before we start talking about games in general. Very quick one: the UK, they haven't turned down the Activision Blizz thing. I've forgotten the word. I am so hungover. The merger, that's the one. But they have basically said, well, there's a couple of things that we think are a wee bit weird and we want you to address. There's a reference to cloud gaming because it's not dead, PG. Because Microsoft have basically a monopoly on cloud gaming, allegedly.
Well, because everyone else is dead.
Well, no, because that's the thing. It's a bit weird because they've cited that, but the Switch uses cloud gaming for some games, including Horizon Forbidden West, and was it 8? Resident Evil 8 or 7? That's on the Switch, but it's done via streaming it through cloud gaming.
I think it's Village. I think you're correct. It's 8.
Yeah, so they were citing that.
I don't know off the top of my head now, but
it's one of them for sure. But yeah, so like they've cited some reasons, and they're basically waiting for Microsoft to respond to it, and then if they can address it, then that will obviously impact what they actually do.
I have opinions, surprisingly. And first of all, let me preface this with, far be it from me to back up Microsoft here, because Microsoft is too big and probably should be broken down to much smaller companies, because that is absolutely disgusting for free trade development software. Anyway, there are 3 major players paying and countersuing Microsoft for this stuff, and one of those is PlayStation, who will be losing the COD license when Microsoft decide they can lose the COD license.
I think they've entered talks to discuss it being more than 10 years in the last week or so.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, but then something will happen. It's Microsoft. Nvidia and Google, like I said, with the cloud gaming and stuff, those so it's a 69 billion merger deal, right? And I want it to happen because goodbye Bobby Kotick, you absolute bread sandwich. And Microsoft is already too big and shouldn't. But there is so much corporate bullshit up in this that it just stinks of. Yeah. We can't have that, so you shouldn't.
Yeah, like PlayStation have been extraordinarily hypocritical. I'm not someone who partakes in console wars, by the way. Like, I think if you are someone who partakes in console wars, you're probably a bit of a bellend. But but in terms of criticism, like obviously exclusives of PlayStation made the rule book. Sony made the rule book on making things exclusive and like having various things, including like extra levels or whatnot in COD games that you could only get on PlayStation, stuff like that. As a consumer, I also want the merger to go ahead, because as a consumer, it means games on Game Pass, and it means that I would save a substantial amount of money. Do I want to pay $70 for a game nowadays, or 70 or £60? No, bloody don't. Do I want to pay 10 quid a month and play all the games I could possibly access? Hell yeah. So as a consumer,
didn't they just come out with saying that Game Pass has been, causing them to lose money? Didn't I could have sworn I just saw something like that.
I've heard something about that. So originally in the past, they were saying when a game gets added to Game Pass, it increases the sales for those games, which that caused a conversation and some contention because it's like, well, what's a sale? Is a download a sale? So
Yeah. Okay. I see. I
think,
saw something. That's why I'm asking about it.
yes,
I wasn't too certain I read that correctly.
Yeah, so there is some kind of report that's come out recently. I likewise haven't read it, but I have heard about it, and I think it's basically brought that conversation to the forefront once more. And
I mean, from what I understand with Game Pass is you're essentially gaining access to the base game, because I do use Game Pass on occasion.
if you have Ultimate, you usually get the
Sometimes it means you
It's
get
a
a couple of
base
hours
game.
in the game.
It's a base game, and then if it's something that has like, you know, there's all these there's an expansion pass, there's a season pass, and so on and so forth. None of that content will ever be available to you unless you buy the full copy of the game. So if in that stride, Game Pass is very useful. Where like, I'm not sure if I want to buy this game, but then you start playing it and you really enjoy it, and you see that there's all this extra content. It's like, fuck, I want to play that shit.
Yeah, if you have Ultimate,
that's where I could see the benefit is.
If you have the Ultimate tier, you usually get the DLC and stuff.
Okay.
So any like expansions and DLC is usually included.
Right? They're citing like this is a horrible area for me to be at because I hate all corporations, except I don't. But you know what I mean. They're saying it's anti-competition. Microsoft are already there. Microsoft are too big. They are too big a company. You merge them again, an extra 69 billion. Like this, they're already ridiculous. They're going to be more ridiculous, which is horrible for competition. But corporate bullshit is rampant here. I don't think that none of this is actually legit. They're like, oh, no, you can't have that because that means we can't have it, and it's hypocritical.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
I'm not sure the price I want to pay for
basically
Bobby Kotick so I can play Blizzard games again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think it's all gross. And one company should be that big.
Yeah.
No, I mean, a lot of these companies try really hard to monopolize, and it's as far as they can go, which is kind of fucked up. But I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion on this, because I'm in the same place. I'm in the same boat as both of you. It's like it's kind of gross.
Opinions, and it hurts.
Yeah, it's I don't really have I don't really have anything like more to add. It's just it's all gross to me.
Yeah, I think it's because it's a case of like, again, if you look at it as a consumer and you go, oh, this will save me money because it will be on Game Pass, but then you look on an ethical level and you're like, oh, well, monopolies, and yeah, it could kick it or bite us in the ass like 10 years, 20 years down the line when they've got control of the planet and all that shit. But then at the same time, it's like, but I'm not spending 70 quid on Diablo 4 kind of thing at the same time. So it's like, it depends on the perspective you take and how far into the future you're looking. But immediately as a consumer, I'm okay with it. And again, it will mean that
from a consumer standpoint, I agree with you. It's from a consumer standpoint because like like I said, I only recently just picked up the PS5 and I didn't even notice until it wasn't until Forspoken came out on Steam. I was like, what the fuck? This game's $70.
Oh, Zelda's $70 as well, by the way. The first game to go $70 on.
Really? And then the funny thing is that I was like, thinking like, when I was looking at the PSN store for and was picking up a couple things, I picked up. We'll talk about what we've been playing soon. So I'm not gonna jump ahead, but I was kind of like thinking, like, oh man, at least Nintendo hasn't done this yet. And god damn it, fuck.
I think in Nintendo's defense, they've had games. I was
on your side, dog, for a second there.
Nintendo are very expensive with the games, and the sales.
Their games rarely go on sale.
They do a lot of hard physical copies, so you can get that shit secondhand.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like Nintendo though. Yeah, they're digitally they very rarely go on sale, but they have like their own little reward system there too. I guess if you buy so many, you get the little coins back. Blah blah blah. And
so essentially, fuck Activision Blizzard, fuck Microsoft, fuck PlayStation,
thank you.
Fuck Nvidia and Google, all of them. It's toddlers playing in a backed up toilet, as far as I'm concerned.
With regards to Nintendo and like corporations being shitty, Obviously, everyone knows Nintendo are the
Was
copyright
EA
devils.
predicting this?
Litigious.
Sorry, say again, Paul.
I was like, was EA predicting this? We were just talking about how EA was being decent.
Right,
Last
yeah,
week.
potentially. They saw
Sorry,
it. They saw it coming.
They
But,
saw it coming. They're like, "Oh, here's our opportunity to strike." All right, now go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't.
No,
mean
all
to interrupt.
good. All good. So yes, Nintendo. Obviously, everyone knows that. As Peachy mentioned earlier, they are quite litigious. They like to sue and copyright strike for the most basic things. You've got a mustache, Brian. You're Mario now. Here's a DMCA kind of thing. In the last few weeks, the tech industry, including like gaming industry in particular, and even gaming journalism, there's been mass layoffs across the planet, despite the fact of record-breaking profits. Nintendo have increased the salary for their employees and not laid anyone off. So in that regard,
I've heard
good
that.
guy Nintendo. They're actually like, yeah, we've actually made cuts in other places and paid our employees more.
The thing with Nintendo, I will always like. I mean, I know like they are very litigious. I know a lot of people have a lot of gripes with them, and everyone likes to harp on them for not having like the best technology. The one thing that I've always noticed about them is that they do try to treat their team really well, like giving them mandatory days off. We don't hear.
They haven't.
Historically, they haven't, and I don't want to speak.
Great. This is great. Like developers deserve a fucking raise.
Yeah, from what it seems like, Nintendo has always looked after their own. They've always taken good care of like their own people within like, when we hear all these reports about crunch time and layoffs, and you hear Nintendo being like, we're giving them mandatory days off and we're going to give them a salary boost. And that's where at least on one hand, you can be like good guy Nintendo, because they do seem to try to be decent in that aspect. Now, if they would stop fucking copy striking and suing everybody and screwing over their own customer base, sometimes that would be lovely.
What they're doing is we're congratulating them, and I think that's great.
Give them props where it's deserved and criticize where it's needed.
Shouldn't they be doing this anyway? Yes, they're the only ones doing it.
Yeah.
But like, are we at that stage of dystopia that you did something?
The bar is not very high.
The bar is pretty low at the moment.
The bar is very low, and the sad thing is, this is what sucks. Is the sad thing is especially when it comes to game developers in particular, and just the gaming industry, tech industry, I guess, is that the bar is set so low that when we hear something like, "Hey, we gave our people a raise, and we're trying not to lay them off," it's like, "Whoa, yeah, good job."
Props.
Because everyone historically is treated so garbage in the tech industry that we hear something just like you're just doing what is expected of you. That's what Nintendo is doing. They're just doing expected of them,
which should be applauded. It should definitely.
And that sad thing is we are applauding it because it should be applauded, and that's the example that the other giants in the industry should be following.
Yeah, and that's why it should be applauded, because then the other giants notice it and they go, "Oh, this is actually what the people want," and people do pay attention to it, and thus it will be adopted.
And that's why I said, like, you could criticize Nintendo for all you want for all the things that they deserve to be criticized on. That absolutely should be. We should at least always acknowledge the fact that they do take good care of their own people. And that's something that a lot of, we hear like things like, all these other industry giants do not do. And it's frankly fucking embarrassing.
Agreed. Poochie, darling.
Yes.
You wanted to whinge about Warhammer, I believe.
Oh, I'd love to whinge. Does anyone mind if I whinge about GameStop?
Oh, please do.
GameStop. Games Workshop.
Please do. I'm excited.
Go for it.
This isn't going to be lore heavy. It's just something I've noticed with the trend, and I think a lot of people are noticing. So last fortnight on this very podcast, I was very excited about the Soul Shackle box with the doggos and the new Kill Team box. So the Soul Shackle box sold out day one, and not just day one. The Soul Shackle box sold out before the official tweet that it was released was posted on Twitter. So there is some hideous FOMO happening right now at Games Workshop, and I don't understand why.
Did they just get bought out by Hasbro? Got him.
Got him.
So, I got some stats here. All stores were sold out within an hour.
Right.
Like there was nothing left within an hour of when it's supposed to go live. The games, so Games Workshop, 5 minutes before pre-orders, you can't just click on it.
Yeah.
You have to go and search for it. But 5 minutes before, they will open their pre-orders.
And do you think that's due to actual demand or artificial?
This, I think, is 100% artificial scarcity.
Right.
And in this TED talk, I'm gonna change some numbers here. But I have spoken to someone in an LGS. There are a couple around here. They had 30 boxes of Soul Shackle in their store, like sent to them from GW that they can sell on that day. It was all pre-ordered up the arse and stuff.
Right.
And compare that to the last box set, which is Cadia Stands. Big box set. A lot of people wanted that. They got 280 boxes of those. 280. And for this box, which is a standalone set that you can just buy this box and play Kill Team with, because you get 2 armies, you get the board and scenery and stuff. You can play it off this. And one of those armies you cannot get separately at the moment. 30 boxes compared to 280. Now, what has happened is if you go on eBay, you can find a Soul Shackle box for £300. This is RRP on Games Workshop for 110.
Right.
So we're talking 90-95 in LGSs and stuff like that. The only people who got this box were people who got really lucky or scalpers playing off this weird FOMO thing that Games Workshop are going down at the moment. And if you compare it to Cadia Stands, I got numbers here. The recommended retail price, 120. Game stores, you're looking about 95 quid again. And scalpers, well, they're not scalpers at this point, but resellers of this, 120. Around about RRP, right?
Right.
Why? This is artificial scarcity. Why they sent 30 boxes to large stores that can ship 300 boxes easy on day one? This is why they're not getting extra money. The scalpers are buying their games, and then people are like 300 quid, but I really want this box. I guess I'm gonna like Games Workshop isn't getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't understand
it
why
makes
they've gone
it
forward.
makes zero sense. It's like this is not because this isn't something specific to like stuff like gaming and all that. Because like I'm really like into makeup, and makeup industry does this to shit too. By the way, like they'll just send in like only so many units to like a store, and it's gone, and it creates this artificial. It's the intention is to increase the hype around it.
But
So
no one
like
can
when there
buy
is.
this.
I know that it because the likelihood is that there might be a second shipment, like a larger shipment or release.
Well, yeah,
And but then at that point, people have already picked them up, and like scalpers have picked them up, and sometimes people might be fucking pissed and they don't want it anymore.
the thing is as well, this isn't like a special edition limited thing, because they do that all the time. It's cute. It doesn't change the game fundamentally. Different model or something. These models are for this game.
Yeah,
they're not limited. They're not a special edition. They have their own new rules and stuff. They're a brand new army or kill team rather. Like it's not like they do it. Like I've got a couple of. No, I don't. But I have some commemorative edition things because like, oh, that's cute, and you just replace the model with something that already exists in the game anyway.
right.
I don't understand. Like, is it? Do they only have a small garage right now to keep these boxes before they send them? It makes no sense why they've gone
potentially. It could be something to do with like because there's been more like shipping container issues and boats getting stuck in things again. So it could
Games
be
Workshop
a legitimate thing.
In country.
Everything?
UK produced game. Their
But-
factories are in the UK.
What about materials and stuff like that?
I don't know about materials.
Yeah.
But
Because I'm in Nottingham, so I literally have the headquarters, and my brother-in-law works for Games Workshop as well. But as far as I'm
Sweet.
aware, I would imagine a lot of the materials and stuff, especially obviously for the metal ones, probably come from outside of the UK or Sheffield, maybe. I guess.
There is a possibility. I don't know where their base materials, but there's no way they're like, oh, we've only got 400 grams left of this plastic, which is the basis of our entire company. There is no way they are low on plastic.
Yeah, I suppose what I'm saying
know.
is like, because I don't want to sound like I'm playing devil's advocate, but I suppose it's we don't know what's behind the curtain at the end of the day. So there could be many reasons that we just don't know because obviously companies don't.
That's why
usually
I was trying to
say
like
things
relate
like
it to
that.
something. That's why I was also trying to like relate it to something like I knew, like, because it's in other like industries as well where they try to create that, you know, some sort of like manufactured scarcity to try to drive up hype. But I don't know how, you know, it translates to like other industries, obviously, because, you know, in the case of like what I said is like, you know, I was referring to just using makeup where like they'll make a brand will make this overhyped up palette. This was years ago. I don't know if they're still doing this shit. And like only release, like send like 20 units to a store. And then it gets like all bought up and then people are freaking out because it's like you got that FOMO over there. And I think it's predatory at best.
What I'm saying is like day one, that LGS sold out of 300 box sets of KD
Yeah,
streams,
that doesn't make
and
sense.
this time they got 28.
Yeah, that doesn't make
I
sense
would
at
put it
all.
down.
I'm with you in like in being frustrated because it's just there's no there's zero explanation as to why there's so few units being shipped out.
I would hazard a guess if they double, tripled the production of this box set, they would have sold them all. The last fail they had was Age of Sigmar, which is a lower played game. It's very cool, but it's a lower play game, and they like the Indominus box. They produce a lot of those, and those sold out pretty quickly. The Cadia box sold out pretty quickly, but they produced a lot. Like there wasn't many people going, "Oh, I couldn't get on." Like everyone is like, "I could not get my hands on a Soul Shackle box." And I'm annoyed because I wanted a doggo. Basically,
Oh no!
I wanted a doggo.
That's fair. That's fair. What we'll do for the last section of the podcast, we'll start with Poochie, because if we do run over, it means that he doesn't have to talk and wind up his neighbors. What's a game that you're looking forward to that's going to be released within, let's say, the next month?
System Shock remake. System Shock remake. System Shock remake.
Tell us why.
Side note to Atomic Heart and Blood Bowl. Because I played the demo, and it's a demo. It is the first tiny little level, and if I just go to System Shock, this is a demo. Please bear in mind, this is a demo. And
So you're saying it's a demo?
yes, it's a demo. I have 72 hours in this demo.
Damn, that is a good demo.
I think I downloaded that demo actually. That was actually one of the games I was looking forward to as well.
Is that on
So
Steam?
I'm with you there, boy.
Demo.
I need to play that demo. So 72
gonna be
hours.
On all
Boy.
platforms, and if you pre-order, which I have, which no one should ever pre-order, but when the System Shock 2 remaster comes out, you get it for free if you pre-order System Shock. And I'm definitely buying System Shock, so I'm like, yeah, I'll have free System Shock 2. Why not?
So sorry, just to clarify, the demo, is it on Steam?
I think they've pulled the demo now.
Oh, okay.
Is it pulled?
Is it just for the Steam Next Fest or?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a bit longer than Next Fest.
Yeah,
but, like,
they pulled it because it's I don't have it anymore.
They've got like
no,
real-time
no, wait, it's still there. It's still there.
Is the demo still there?
It's still there for System Shock. Yes.
You can get another 72 hours in, Peachy.
I'm getting it, dude. I'm gonna download it myself because I had it and I had to reinstall Steam and I lost it.
I just had it running constantly. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go make some food, and then I come back, and then I go through it again and go through it again. That does include the last demo as well, but this is expanded. They've got a new, the whole intro from the original game, which was basically a text screen that went, oh, here's the story. That's all like rendered and stuff. You start in like your apartment, you can have a look around, and then you get in the game, and you're like, I've been here before. This is a brand new, shiny looking game, but I have been here before. It's so good. It's modernized, but it's also as annoying as some of the mechanics were in System Shock because it was an older game. It was a bit stilted in places. They have modernized it, but it still feels.
Oh,
like
you're right.
System
You do get the enhanced edition of System Shock 2 for free. I mean, but pre-ordering it for $40 isn't bad. That's
No one should ever pre-order a game. There will be no artificial scarcity with a video game. It's digital.
No, that's true. That's true. But
Although
But I do want
technically
System
they can run out of like key tokens, like Square
Can
Enix.
they?
Yep, it happened to Square Enix when Endwalker came out. They actually couldn't sell the game anymore because they ran out of the
Oh, that's
keys that they
funny.
generated for it because it was like so
that's,
hype.
that's funny as fuck.
Can't they just push a button and generate
No.
more keys?
No, it doesn't work like that. They actually ran out of keys.
That's insane.
That's fucking funny.
They had to like reduce how many people could like log in.
I mean, I'm
how
not
many
going to
people could,
pre-order
like, get on the
System.
demo and
There's
stuff
no
like that.
reason.
Nobody's sitting here like me going, "Oh, System Shock remake. This game from the fucking 90s."
Dude,
Like,
I
mean,
just
there's
said
a fair bit of hype for it.
Yes, there is.
it's
And-
no,
and
there's hype for it,
so-
and also the fact that they're selling it for $40, which is not bad. It see like with with something like with an older remastered game, like that's perfect price because you're probably going to be trying to bring in new fan base as well.
I have a lot of faith behind Night Dive Studios as well. They've never.
Oh no, I'm
let
I'm
me
not saying
down,
that there's
so
anything wrong with the. I'm
I'm
not
okay.
like casting any doubt. It's just if you make things so because like when was the last System Shock 2, right?
System Shock 2.
So-
When did that even come out?
A long,
90 on
long
Steam
time
it
ago.
claims 1999.
Yeah.
So
I think that's when
uh,
it was released on Steam, but it might have released.
that's why I said on Steam it claims 1999. But but you're bringing in a brand new. You're gonna try to bring in a brand new fan base because there's a whole like
they're not. They're not
there's
trying to
quite-
do that.
the-
I don't think
If-
they're not like,
if-
hey, look at
but
our new
they-
System Shock. They're like, hey, do you remember System Shock?
No, but if you
Same.
make a remastered game, an older game, and you remaster it, and it isn't really something that's going to have a lot of hype around it, there will be a cult fan base. If you make it more affordable, it will absolutely be bringing in more eyes.
I mean,
'Cause,
this is
like,
Night
what-
Dive. They're not AAA. They're AA.
Yeah.
No,
They
that-
do a lot of remasters and remakes, and I personally think they're a decent company.
I'm
and solid.
complimenting them. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm complimenting them.
Well, there we go. I'm super hyped for that.
I know I'm hyped too because I think I played System Shock 2 like years and years ago, and
It's
I
nothing
never
like
got to play the
System
first
Shock
one.
2, but
I never got to play the first one, so so again
Night Dive
bringing
did
in new
also
fan base.
remaster the first one, which I've played as well. I think I got that on GOG. GOG, sorry. They don't like GOG.
I
anymore.
know what GOG is, but
No, they
for
don't
the
like GOG
listeners-
anymore. It's officially GOG.
Oh, they don't. Oh, that's GOG now.
Just rebel. It's GOG.
It's
well,
GOG
they
now.
do DRM free games, so I'm like, yeah.
Let me
cool,
just
alright.
say, let me put it this way: if you ever tell me, don't call me if a like it's like GIF or GIF. Oh no, it's GIF. Oh, okay, it's GIF now. So fuck you.
Fair.
What insanity would bring anyone to college?
I say GIF.
Yeah, because that's how you pronounce it.
Who calls it GIF?
I actually know someone calls it
Jif
Jif,
is
and
peanut
I-
butter.
I just
Yeah,
ignore their
me too.
existence whenever they say it.
GIF is peanut butter.
They're not
It's-
real, Brian. They're invented.
They don't exist.
What is everyone else?
I'm being gaslit right now.
Oh, don't be stupid. There's no such thing as gaslighting.
Hope, what is a game you're excited for aside from
I
Wild
am-
Hearts?
I'm not really sure. I haven't really been paying attention to anything that news coming up, but I did just pick up Returnal, which has been really fucking cool.
On PC or the PlayStation 5?
I picked it up on PS5. I saw it was on PC, but it's $30 on PS5, so I went and picked it up there. But that's a really cool game, man, and I saw that it's co-op, so I'm excited to play it. It's got like this like I'm not very far, but the puzzle system and also the fact that the game encourages you to die, likes to learn more.
Yeah, it's
it's
part
like-
of the story essentially.
It's you find your dead body like right from the beginning, and you're like, whoa. So I'm actually really, really interested in where the story is going. So I've been checking that out, and right now I'm kind of like in that phase where like you're playing a bunch of like, you got a new system. You're like, oh, I'm going to try all this new shit. And I'm still a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. But I am excited to play more Wild Hearts this week.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't have much more to add to that.
That's no problem.
System Shock, though, you mentioned System Shock, and I did have that on my list last week, remember?
Atomic Heart's another one I've got my eye on as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
I'm really happy that there are other people that aren't nerdy geeks like me that are excited for System Shock. That's great.
That was on my list like for last week when we were talking about like what we were looking forward to. It's literally right there.
I'm going to cheat a little bit because the game that I'm going to talk about doesn't come out next month. However, about 5 minutes before we jumped into the call, our favorite developer, Blizzard, made an announcement about the Diablo 4 open beta and the early access beta. So it's going to be 2 weekends they've announced in March, which is a lot sooner than I anticipated, to be honest. So they've said that the first early access one, so if you pre-order, you will get to play on March 17th through to the 19th, and then the open beta for everyone will be on March 24th through to 26th.
Nice.
That is on all platforms barring the Switch. They have said the focus of the beta. During both the open beta and early access weekends, players will be able to intimately explore the early game of Diablo 4. This includes a first taste of the campaign via the prologue and entirety of Act 1. The first zone, Fractured Peaks, is yours to navigate as you please, stampede through the rugged landscape and cut down demons.
Done?
Of the game?
Done?
The entire game is probably technically done. It's more optimization and probably tweaking endgame at this point, I would imagine.
That was quick.
It comes out in June, dude.
It's Diablo.
Fair. But,
I don't know why the way you just said it. It comes out in June, dude.
I don't know if you've ever heard of
That
them.
was so good. Thank you for that.
but my assumption, because especially they mentioned later down the line that you are capped at level 25, so you can play as much as you want, but you can't go beyond level 25. I assume this is the same build that influencers were introduced to earlier last year, and then they released from that NDA. I think it was in November, and we actually saw the extra footage, so I assume it's that same build. I'm looking forward to it because I'm a massive action RPG nerd, and I'm a big fan of Diablo. I have apprehensions because of how the writing was in Diablo 3, but otherwise I've liked everything that I've seen thus far for Diablo, or Diablo 4 specifically. So that's what I'm going to be keeping my eye on, and probably may even book the Friday off just so I can get some extra time in, especially if I can get the access without having to pre-order, because you shouldn't pre-order games. But yes, was there anything else that anyone wanted to add?
We save the PUBG thing for next episode because I went into this. Dude, it's a rabbit hole down there.
I need to look into that myself, actually, too, because
this is my PUBG notes. It's on 2 pages.
You mentioned that. I actually really want to look a little bit more into that before we talk about it, because I know Peachy has a lot to say, but I really want to get a little bit
fascinating some of the information and like.
No, that's why, because I want to be on this a little bit on the same page as you when you're talking about it. So that will give me a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm currently on page 1.
Yeah, we can absolutely put that in the next episode. Like for me, it was just like
I would love that.
PUBG are making a Tarkov game, and then end of subject. But if there's some crazy shit that you've come across,
Google
then
it, and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
I'm curious.
When you go in a Google hole, and then suddenly you're learning about, I don't know, Nazi Germany in 1941. And like, wasn't I watching a thing about the history of squeegees? What is happening here?
Right.
This goes deep.
It goes deep. This is why I want to look into it, because that sounds fascinating.
Okay, we'll definitely save that for the next episode then. Was there anything else anyone wanted to cover?
I've been playing Hitman World of Assassination, and it's really good. They gave me a keys to play Freelancer, and I haven't touched Freelancer because I've been playing the rest of the game. It's really good.
I went and checked out Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, yeah.
And it is so charming and wonderful. I highly recommend. We were talking about how, like, it was so surprising hit. After the last recording, I went and checked it out myself. I only got like I have 98 minutes in, so don't so I only scratched the surface of it. It is wonderfully charming. It's plays very well. What I love about highly recommend everybody like go check it out if you haven't and you're interested in rhythm games.
On Game Pass?
I don't know if it's on Game Pass. I picked it up on Steam.
It should be on Game Pass.
It should, but like how much they synced this game up to the music and the sounds around it. It's so great. And someone in my chat said there's a Xenogears joke. I need to see that, but it's so wonderful and charming, and it put me in an instant good mood. I can't recommend it enough.
There's an Easter egg that implies that they're working on Evil Within 3 as well.
That makes me happy because I
thought it might.
I really loved. I can't stress enough how much I love Evil Within 2. Like I played both of them on my stream last year, and I played through the first one like 3 times. And I'm not gonna lie, every time I play it, I always ask myself, why am I playing it? It just irritates the shit out of me, but it's fun at the same time. But 2 was brilliant. It's such a good game.
I enjoyed 2, but I never played 1. Are you gonna be mad at me?
You don't have to play 1.
People were angry that I'd not played the first one.
Yeah, fuck them. But the thing with 1 is the way I would describe or my feelings on 1 is that it's such a hard game for me to recommend to people because I did enjoy it, but it relies so much on RNG, like your loot, like your upgrade materials, your ammunition relies all on RNG to the point where like I played it on stream and I actually stopped playing last time during a boss fight because I ended up running out of ammunition and I had to redo the whole chapter. And it happened to me more than once on stream, but like it was the second time it did it. Like I literally was running around in circles and I didn't know what to do anymore because I couldn't. Your melee is like it's just such fucking garbage. Like there's no point in having it. So I had no ammunition, no parts, no nothing, and I literally had nothing to do but die. And I ended up. I was just like I was really frustrated. I had to turn. I was like I can't play this anymore right now, guys. It's like pissing me off. And the thing was like that's kind of like the experience when you play that game, that it's so hard for me to recommend it. That 2 was such a breath of fresh air. They did such a good job on that game. So the fact that you didn't play it, it wouldn't hurt to check it out to see like what exactly I'm talking about and why it's it has one of the hardest modes in a game.
Right.
Like Akuma mode, like not a lot of people have platinum that game because of fucking Akuma. It's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I've never played them myself, but my understanding is that the first game was commercially more successful, but the second game has more of a cult following.
Yes, from what I understand,
the second one become a contrarian again.
Well, the funny thing is, the second one, I'm a contrarian for sure. It's so much better too. That's what's so frustrating is that it didn't sell as well, but I heard it was better before I played it. And I played it for the first time on stream and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was actually upset with myself for waiting so long to play it.
Right. Let's get things.
It's great. So if there is an Easter egg that they're making a third one, that hopefully they go more lean heavier on like 2 than on what happened 1. But we obviously fell off subject a little bit. Hi-Fi Rush is wonderful. Check it out. It is fun.
I 100% agree. Let's get things wrapped up then. Pulp, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Who is my daddy and what does he do? I don't have a daddy. He doesn't do anything. I am Daddy. I am Pulp Fictionally. I am a former Instagram model turned variety streamer. I have not streamed in a couple of weeks because I had oral surgery and I am incapable of showing my face. So oopsie poopsie. But you can find me on all social medias under Pulp Fictionally, with the exception of Twitter, which is Plot Fictionally because someone stole my name over there. But I will be active on the internet very soon again. I just need to go through my recovery, boys.
Thank you. And Poochie.
My name is Peachy Pixelate. You can find me on twitch.tv/PeachyPixelate and twitter.com/PeachyPixelate. Peachy Pixelate. That's where I am. And I'm currently playing Hitman. And I do other stuff. And I paint miniatures. And I watch ghost videos and tell you why they're wrong.
And he thinks cloud gaming is dead.
And cloud gaming is dead.
Fantastic. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Brian the Pirate. Thank you all for watching this evening. It's always a pleasure having you all here. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. You can find me on social medias as Brian the Pirate, and that's Brian with a Y, not Byron, not Brain, which I get all the fucking time. But yes, it's Brian with a Y. Brian the
It
Pirate.
happened one time.
It happens all the damn time. Don't fight me, woman. But yes, I play mostly action RPGs, occasionally first-person shooters, and basically a lot of AAA games on Twitch. I also make random content on Instagram and TikTok. Like occasionally I'll read out poems because people like the sound of my voice. But yes, thank you all once more for watching. If you want to experience the audio version of this podcast, you can experience it via Spotify. I'm also getting the other platforms sorted out. You have to wait for so many episodes for it to basically register them, but you'll be able to also watch them or listen to them on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and a couple of others. But it will be on Spotify and YouTube as well within the next few hours. But thank you, everyone, and thank you, Peachy. Thank you, Pulp. Shall we all
Thank
say
you
farewell?
so much. Farewell. We'll see you
Follow
next
the
week.
fully rendered Twitter.
Follow the fully
Or
rendered
next week.
Twitter.
2
Correct.
weeks. Yeah. Follow
Like.
the Twitter.
Like, subscribe. Tip your waiter.
Don't forget to check out the
Do a little
YouTubes.
dance. Make a little love. Get down and
Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Bye.